Hey everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and today I'm going to share with you my newly completed album, which is featuring Stamperia's Imagine collection. So I just finished this today. I'm very excited to be sharing it with you. And I'm going to start by going over kind of what's going on in the front. So here and here, I've got a couple of pieces of filigree. And of course, if you're used to shopping with us, you know that we often give you charms and filigrees with your purchase. Depending on the size of your order. We like to try to do something special for every single person. These flowers are an array of flowers, different collections and different brands that I just happen to have in my stash. So I kind of clustered together a bunch of partially used packs. So I know these are $49 in market. I'm pretty sure actually all my flowers are $49 in market, but they're from mixed packs. I added a little bit of twine here to make it kind of interesting. These are some die cut leaves, and actually I used the large die. Hold on, I'll show it to you. I've got it right here. The large graphic 45 die, so I used the leaves that come in this collection just to add some interest here. These are layered cut-aparts, fussy cut-aparts, and I'm going to tip it so that you can kind of see that I've stacked them. And I used chipboard behind these. So when I'm done trimming down my 12 by 12 chipboard for the cover, spine, and back, I usually have some leftovers. And I save those, and rather than using foam backs, I actually mount these on chipboard. It makes them much more rigid, and I like that. They seem to hold up. It seems to be a little bit more durable, but it's really a preference. I don't like cutting it, but it does hold up well. This is one of the cut-aparts, and then this design that you see around the edge here is also a graphic 45 die, and that's part of, and I wish they had the picture on the back, but they don't, part of the brand new collection of dies from Graphic 45, and it comes in the policy envelope die set. There is this framelit, and what I did was I just cut it in half on a diagonal, and I only used part of it right here. And so that's how I got that effect, and I really think it's pretty. And then the second piece I used inside the album, and I'll point that out when we get there. So again, so this is chipboard backed, and backed. So everything's sort of elevated, and so is this one as well. So there's my cover. On the spine, I showed you guys how to install these brads. And then I also added this Tim Holtz Swivel clasp is what it's called. And then I added some charms to the bottom of it. And I talked about possibly shortening the chain, but I decided to go ahead and leave it as is. And then on the back, it's just a solid piece. And then I just added this fussy cut word or sentiment, and then I also paperbacked it with a coordinating brown cardstock and fussy cut that as well. It takes a little time, but it makes it stand out so much more than if it just had that ivory background. Okay, so there's the cover. I'm liking this. It's kind of rustic and romantic. It's a little different than what I normally do, but I like it. Okay, on the inside, if you when you get to the tutorial, the cover tutorial, you'll see what I did here. Right now, I'm just going to talk about what's featured. This is the coordinating brown cardstock, and then what you see here, and I wish I had this open, is from the same die collection. It is this border, and I think it makes a really pretty border, and it's pretty, I think, versatile. So that is another place I used the die. Here I fussy cut a sentiment and popped it on that chipboard like we talked about. And this is a double flap. And if you decide to make the album, I talk about it in the process, but I used 80-pound cardstock and I used small magnets. I would beef up my magnets or add a third magnet. I do have enough paper to cover the back, but I really wanted to get this out to you guys. I feel like it's been a long time since I got any content out, so I am going to go back and cover this. And I'll show you here. Here are the sheets that I have left. So it looks like I have 3, 4, 5, 6 8x8 sheets left, which I only need 4 to cover these. And then I'll show you, I also have a set of 6x6 left. So you could add additional flaps, or you've got lots left over for cards, 4x6 cards. Okay. And that is based on a 10 pack and a 22 pack. Okay, Here is the next page, and it flips up. I'm trying to make sure I'm staying in frame, and it goes down. And I arranged it so that we would leave this dream exposed, which I think is pretty. I added this fussy cut element and popped it with some cardstock. This is one of the cut-aparts in the collection. And this is also featured a cut-aparts. Some of these are just trimmed down to size, but some of them are the cut-aparts. Okay, and then we have another large photo mat, and again, I will back that. So this spread is the same on both sides, and so we have a shallow pocket and a deeper pocket, and it holds a ton of stuff. So I'm going to start pulling out some of what's in here. So in the Stamperias, they always have at least one full sheet of cut-apart tags. So I paper-backed my tags, and I've got this What Do You Love? It's also one of the cut-aparts. This is another cut-apart that I paper-backed, so very easily you could mount a 3x5 photo behind there. And then this is, I think it's roughly a 5x5. And I covered both sides, and I would put photos on this side and leave this side as the designer paper. Okay, same thing on this side. I made this side extra simple so it's easy to mount a photo, and I would leave this as is. This is one of the cut-aparts as part of the collection, and you might want to stash some memorabilia in here, tickets, something like that. You can also journal on this side. In the shallow pocket, I've got a couple of these tags, which are perfect for journaling or very small 2x2 or 3x3 photos. And another cut-apart here. I've added a cut-apart that I backed with cardstock here. I'm going to stash these again. And I even have more of these tags that you can repurpose or add to the book. And another large photo mat here. Okay, this is a flip down, and we've got a 4 flap waterfall. There we go. Nice and simple. And then here's where I used the piece that I cut off on the other side. I trimmed it down further and just used it and attached it to this cut apart, and I think that turned out pretty. And I can see right here that there's a lip there. I didn't punch out that little bit right there. So I'm really liking that die. I'm sure I'm going to use it in a lot of different places. Of course, this opens up and down, and this is held together with a magnet. A nice large photo mat. And here we are on page 8. This is a fussy cut, paper-backed cut apart. And we have a total of 4 flaps here. 1, 2, 1, and 2. And then another brown strip with this die cut element here. And when you watch the tutorial for the cover, you'll see why I did this design element specifically. Although I do bands a lot on the covers and the back. So actually I have this out of order. It goes like that. So there we go. So that is the latest mini album. Again, this is Stamperia Imagine. If you click the show more button just below the video box, the first thing you're going to see is a list of materials that were used in this project. It is going to exclude these flowers because they were just out of my stash. I don't even have the original packaging anymore. We do have some that are similar, but I don't think we have these specifically. But you'll see the rest of the materials that are used in the project. And then if you keep scrolling, you're going to see the cut list. And the cut list will include the base album build, the 8.5 by 8.5 4-pocket mini album. And then just below that will be the interactive cut list, which will include all the measurements and scoring instructions for your flaps so that you can make an album just like this one. And then if you click to the playlist and you're looking for this project, you're going to look for Stamperia Imagine. Imagine is a collection Graphic 45 already had, so if you just search on that, you're probably going to come up with the Graphic 45 Imagine, not the Stamperia. So search for Stamperia Imagine and click on Show the Playlist, and you'll see all the tutorials so that you can build one just like this. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Daphne from Scrap and Crate, reminding you, if you haven't already, to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for taking time to spend with us today, and I hope you enjoyed this project. I'm off to my next project. See you next time.